In 1992, a game called Mortal Kombat came out into the world. The game had everything: blood, gore, realistic decapitations, and fatalities. It was one of the first games out there that showed parents that not all games are made for kids. The controversy of the game led to the creation of the Electronic Software Ratings Board, or ESRB for short. It was a new rating system that was similar to the movie rating system by the MPAA.
So there's the story, kids. Controversial game comes out, rating system got made, and now responsible parents have little more control what their kids play. And everyone lived happily ever after.
Until this happened.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Cecily Tynan, Rick Williams, and Monica Malpass.
Good morning. It is 5:30 on this Wednesday, April 21st, and here is the latest on that deadly shooting in Colorado. As many as 25 people are feared dead, where 2 students went on a suicide shooting rampage yesterday. The bodies are still in the school because of the presence of bombs inside the building.
After that horrible scene of violence, investigators found out that Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold regularly played Doom on their spare time. There was even rumors of Harris making levels to simulate the Columbine High School, letting people to believe that kids plus violent video games equals school shootings, thus beginning the war against violent video games. I'm not going to go into the psychological traits of what effects violent video games have on adolescents. This is not what this episode is about. This episode is about how the men and women of office handle these situations, well, like children. The most current case of this is when Australia refused to give the newest iteration of Mortal Kombat a classification rating. Well, for obvious reasons. Now, for the people who don't know, is that Australia does not give an 18+ rating for video games. So what happens is when games will most likely get an 18+, will just get refused a classification rating. And when that happens, the game is now illegal to sell anywhere in the country. And if you live in Australia, you now have 2 options. Either wait for the developers to make a watered down version of it, so it can make the MA15 rating, or you can import the uncensored version from the USA or UK. Now, the thing that pisses me off is that Australian customs are now looking for and seizing imported copies of the game. So in Australia's eyes, Mortal Kombat is the equivalent to drugs and weapons. This is the same country that banned small breasts in porn, because small breasts promotes pedophilia. And if you think Australia should be the poster child for video game censorship, other games got banned for stranger reasons. In 2004, Football Manager 2005, a soccer sim game that looks like this, got banned because it recognized Tibet as an independent nation. If you go back earlier to 2002, Greece, trying to put a stop to electronic gambling, banned all video games in general, just because Greece officials couldn't tell the difference between video poker and Mario Party. But there is a law right now that, if it gets passed, could affect how all video games are made in the future. In 2005, California made a law that implied it was illegal to sell violent video games to minors, putting violent video games in the realms of porn. And who's a big supporter of this? None other than Arnold Schwarzenegger, the same guy who did movies like this.
Vayan y miren.
Seriously, fuck Schwarzenegger. Since common sense intervened, the law got shut down faster than a crack house across a police station, but somehow it is now a case for the Supreme Court to decide. Now you gotta understand this. Movies and music don't have this kind of law. They are all self-regulated by their respected agencies like the MPAA and the RIAA. Video games have the ESRB, and if the law passes, it's basically saying the ESRB is not doing their job. Similar laws in Delaware and Illinois have been shut down before, and now has a solid chance of getting passed. Now, what does this mean for us? Well, if video games get classified as objectifying material, then there is a good chance places like Walmart and Best Buy won't sell the games in their store to keep their family image. To developers, that's a lot of money lost because they wanted to show blood in their game. Developers will probably make 2 different versions of the game for the same country, or not even deal with the law and just make safe games that could be sold everywhere. Since about 75% of all games are sold in America, that could have a huge impact on how games will be made in the future. I know I sound like a crazy ranting person right now, but remember that Walmart took their copies of Grand Theft Auto off the shelves when word got out of the hot coffee mod. As of right now, the Supreme Court won't release their verdict until sometime in July. But you can keep up to date of the entire coverage and help out by going to videogamevoters.org and spreading the word. As of right now, it's still up in the air and we need as much help as we can. Because do you seriously want this to happen? I'm Michael Delvey, and I'll see you next time. We're going to see a PlayStation 4 and Xbox 720 and Nintendo money, but I have a strong feeling we're not going to see a PlayStation 5, an Xbox 1080, or a Nintendo Empire.